Okay, we here.
It's all good.
Jump around, jump around.
Take all this time off and I just forget. I just forget.
There
Good
we are. There you
evening
are.
and
No,
hello.
no, no, not yet, honey. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Let's do this first.
Okay.
You know, I
Yeah.
mean, we all good. She in a rush. She ain't been out here in a while, y'all. So, so let me bring this up. And
Okay.
now you close that. We all good. No, 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 no. You close it, right? And that's good right there.
Okay.
All right.
Now we ready, Gilbert?
Denise, do you have any feedback?
No, it's good.
Sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's good.
All righty then. Now, come on. We're going to bring this up here and we're going to let you two talk.
Okay.
Bring her up over there.
Hello. Hello, Facebook fans and friends. I've been gone a little while, long time, but I'm glad to be back. And I'm glad that you're here tonight to join the indie show. Boy, did I miss you. But I have a treat for you tonight. And I bring to you from Philadelphia, yes, another one of Philadelphia's finest, Denise King. How are you, Denise?
I'm
How are
great.
you?
I'm great. How are
It's
you?
good to see you. It's
You
good.
too. You too. It's really good to see you.
It's
And
good.
thank
And thank you for accepting my invitation and welcome to the show.
thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. I'm excited.
Well, Denise, I've been gone for a couple months because I had to take some time off and try to get myself together and everything. But I miss it so much.
Mm-hmm.
I miss it, and I'm just so glad that you're my first person that's back here. I
Okay.
think I left in March or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So
That's
tell me,
awesome. Honored.
I'm honored that you came on my show too. I really am. In looking up the vocalists and the musicians and all that, I uh, I learned so much about them. See, I think
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot about them, but I really don't know a lot about them. Okay. And when I look at your bio and I search you up, boy, you have a lot to tell us today.
Yeah, I do.
Yes, yes, you do. Yes, you do. So tell me, what have you been doing? Let's start. What have you been doing for the past couple months since you haven't been working?
Basically what I've been doing is I did a lot of live streams, just to stay, you know, with keep my vocals up. I did live streams with Aaron Graves, who's my piano player. I did a live stream with Aaron Graves and Gloria Galante, who plays harp. I have been basically just taking it easy and
Mhm.
writing, working on my book,
Oh,
that
you're
kind
writing a book?
of yes, I am.
Okay, all right.
Book, I've been writing a book. The book is actually almost done. It's been done for a while. I just been dragging my feet on getting it published, but it's called From the Bottom Up, and it basically is my life story. You know,
Okay.
I got started the obstacles and pitfalls that I faced in my life, but I'm still climbing, and
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
the message of the book: to keep climbing, just keep climbing.
Well, in reading and looking at your bio and talking to people, you do like six months here and then 6 months in Europe. Is that what
Yeah.
you usually do?
Well, usually what it kind of works out to is I over the last, I'd say, last 3 or 4 years, I spent most of my time in Europe. I would do maybe 8 months in Europe and then come back here, um, for the remainder of the time. I'd split it up, but
Mhm.
pretty much Europe was home. Pretty much I stayed there. Uh,
Okay.
yeah.
They treated you like a queen, didn't they?
Yeah, she's gonna tell us about that. She was telling,
Yeah.
tell us about Europe.
I mean, the thing about Europe is one of the things I love about Europe is if you were a star in 1959, you still a star in 2021. You
Okay.
know, it doesn't matter. Here, like we were talking about yesterday, here you're like a loaf of bread. You have a shelf
Yeah.
life.
Mhm.
You're only as popular as your latest hit. So if
Okay.
you got a hit right now, that means you gotta be behind the scenes
Next
working
one.
on another one.
Mhm.
That will come, before the bread gets stale.
Yeah.
But in Europe, I don't care how. I mean, all these artists that were really popular in the 70s,
Mhm. Mhm.
80s, whatever, they're still mega superstars over there in demand. And that's why people leave here and go there because you're treated so well. You're treated like royalty. You're not treated like, oh, that's an old song. Don't nobody want to hear that, you know.
Yeah.
No, it's like God. Like, oh my God. I mean, I toured with Billy Paul, and it was amazing to me
Mhm.
just to see the love that he received overseas in Europe and France. I mean, people running down the street chasing the limo, that kind of, love and adoration and admiration and and it taught me something. And that was one of the reasons why I opted to um move to Europe because
Mhm.
it's just easier. It's easier to make things happen. It's easier to get things done. I did TV, I did radio, I ended up on the cover of a magazine, and here, you really have to work hard unless you're, really connected or or by our standards,
Mhm.
like web standards, you find your way in and, and it was just easier for me there.
But why do you think it's like that though? Why do you think it's such a difference why?
I think because there in Europe, when they play things on the radio, they play music on the radio. They mix it up. There's a station that I listened to
Mhm.
in Paris that played everything. They played jazz, they played R&B, they played soul, they played just like back in the day, WDAS,
Mhm. Mhm.
WHAT, they used to mix it up.
Mhm.
You would hear Donald Byrd and the Blackbirds. You would hear jazz. You might hear Nina Simone. They mix it up. So now it's just pretty much this is the genre. This is what it is. You know, everything is current, and they put everything on a loop. They have 20 songs.
Yeah.
They have songs.
Is
They
it?
have songs that they put on a loop.
I'm sorry, man.
No, that's okay.
That's
But
what you hear. That's what you hear. Those
and,
10,
and
20 songs.
and is it, I mean, just for my own information, is it because here we play what we're told to play? So if it's an old song, we're not playing old songs at this point in time. We're playing new artists,
Right.
and they can play over there. They just play whatever they want to
They
play.
play whatever they feel like playing because I don't know, and I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think that there's a corporate entity saying this is our playlist and we play these 20 songs because this is what people want to hear. But I will say this, what the major corporations should have learned from watching Versus with Earth, Wind, and Fire and the Isley Brothers and Versus with Patty and who was it? Patty and who was it? Wasn't Dionne Warwick? Patty LaBelle and Gladys Knight.
Mhm.
The industry should have learned something from those two verses. They are missing out on an entire demographic that is still viable, still making money, still capable of selling out huge auditoriums, but because they're marketing to a younger demographic, they're missing the point. They're missing the
Wow.
point. people in a certain demographic, our demographic, baby boomers, we have able income that we're willing to spend, looking to spend on program that speaks to our hearts, and they're not offering that to us. They should be playing it on the radio. I mean, some stations absolutely do play, like Patty Jackson. Patty Jackson plays grown folk music. That's what she does, but everybody doesn't do that. And they're missing out on a huge demographic and a viable demographic. These people are capable still. And here's the thing with the verses, that those particular verses broadcast didn't just reach our demographic, but it introduced a younger demographic to this music that they loved. They
Yeah,
love. I think Earth, Wind, and Fire and the Isley Brothers, they had the largest number of viewers.
wow. Well,
Yeah.
Gilbert and I, what we did, this show started because of what you're saying, because,
Mhm.
our music we wanted to hear, and we couldn't hear our music, and our artists that we grew up with, we wanted to see. Now, we knew that they were out there working, doing live shows and all that, but they
Mhm.
weren't getting any credit, I don't,
No.
that kind of stuff. So what happened was we decide to create this show, okay, to bring our artists, the artists that we grew up on, to keep their music alive. And that's how
Right.
the show was created. And then we went into and we created our own internet radio station, which is Philly Live Radio. So we play all of the music that you guys do. We play all your original tunes. We do it all. And that's the reason why, because we couldn't turn on a lot of the radio shows now and listen to our music.
Listen to our music, and that's a
Yeah.
problem. To me, it's a problem. Because here's the thing. When my kids were growing up, I used to always tell them there's not a radio that they have invented that can cuss me out in my own house.
Mhm.
Period.
I love it. Okay.
Okay. You can't do it. You
Right.
cannot play this in my house. I don't want to hear it, period. But now you cannot turn on the radio or watch videos without bumping into these explicit, highly sexual. I remember I was listening to Gladys Knight song that she does that I really love. Can it be at all so simple then?
Mhm.
All the time rewritten every line. And if we had the chance to do it all again, tell me, would we? Memories like the corners of my mind. Before she sang that song, she said, I miss the mystery of romance.
Mm.
It's the mystery
Lyrics.
Mhm.
music as it pertains to romance.
Mhm.
Now with all this wham bam, thank you, ma'am. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I'm swinging from the chandelier, smoking banana peels. We're gonna do all that, and they don't pull any punches. I want the mystery, and people our age, we're seasoned enough to know. You know, I always say those who talk about the most can do the least.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I miss from our music. The jam, the purity of the music, the danceability of the music. Not saying that the music now is not danceable, because it is. And thank God for people like our own Jilly from Philly, Erica Badu, you know,
Yeah.
um, a bunch of others who were Mesa Lee. But thank God for these people who are keeping this tradition alive. But
Yes. Yes.
the times when you turn on the radio, or the internet, or whatever, however you receive or listen to your programming, you hear, I mean, I don't want to hear it half the time. I don't. So
Yeah.
I appreciate what you're doing, because you're reaching those of us who want this music, but the corporations have just kind of, pushed us
Push it aside.
Dumbed it down.
And
aside,
and
like fiddly dee,
and
fiddly dee, fiddly dee.
then after well, while the pandemic, okay, didn't do anything for us but put us further back, because then where we could do a couple live shows, you can't do those now. So
Right.
now they couldn't work, and a lot of the entertainers lived off live performances because their
Well,
songs weren't playing, you know. So
exactly.
what did they do?
Well, here's the thing, and that's an issue anyway. Um, I learned that a lot of times people are just not buying CDs anymore because they download music online.
Mhm.
There's so much music online that is free that artists aren't making any money off of that stuff, so we have to make our money from live performance. So
Mhm.
what do you do? And that was the thing with this pandemic. Oh my God. I mean, I get teary-eyed just thinking about it. In one day, everything that we did was it was stripped, just stripped. The rug was pulled from under us, and a lot of us, because this is what we do, you know, what this pandemic taught me a whole lot. But as it pertains to business and making money, it taught me that it's a poor rat that ain't got but one hole to run to.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Music, we do music, but I tell you what,
Mhm.
all better brush up on some other skills.
Transferable skills so you can
Yeah,
do other things.
you can do other things. And
Mhm.
I mean, I did other things. I did everything. Listen, I don't care. Ain't no shame in my game. My daughter-in-law has a B&B, okay? She has a B&B, fabulous B&B, right down there in North Philly. And her Airbnb. And so she hired somebody to clean. And I said, I know how to clean.
Mhm.
Why don't you give me a job? I'm not working.
Yeah, yeah.
Said, Miss Denise, that's what she calls me. Miss Denise, I don't want you doing that. I said, what you mean you don't want me doing that? I said, ain't no shame in my game. I said, I clean. I don't care. And when it comes to survival, you do what you have to do.
What you have to do.
If
Yeah.
I had to change linen,
Hmm.
bathroom, clean the kitchen, I don't care.
Yeah.
But it's about your skill set. It's about having other stuff in your toolbox
What you
that
can
you
do.
rely on. Like I told some friends of mine who were were doing photography as a hobby. I said, see what you can do with the photography. I was talking, teach,
Yeah.
teach online, do it on the street.
Yeah.
I told one of my singer friends, do every day. I'm doing a black girl clap. I am sorry. I said, do a lunchtime concert twice a week. Set up your tip jar. Because if nothing else, this pandemic has to have taught us to think outside of the box.
Yes, yes, yes. And it makes you deep, it makes you dig deep in and say, what can I do to survive? You
And
know,
that's basically what it is.
and that's what you do. Because, you know, when you stop and think, you have a lot of different transferable skills that you have accomplished and you have done throughout your lifetime. And sometimes
Right.
you can reach in that bag and pull them out and do all
Pull
kinds
them,
of things to make it.
pull them out. I mean, I remember there was a time uh during my career when I wasn't working. I transcribed tapes for a magazine.
Hmm.
I transcribed the tapes, I listened to the tapes, and I typed it out and sent it to them, and I got paid. You have to think outside the box. You have to think, just like I told somebody last week, they were having money issues. And I said, listen, DoorDash, Uber, Lyft, all, all these different people, all they want you to do is go pick up some chicken wings and take them to Bebe's house. That's it. They want you to pick up some pizza and take it to somebody's house. You can make you can make your own hours.
Hmm.
Work
Hmm.
as much as you want or as little as you want. and make anywhere from 100 to 300 to however many dollars a day
Yeah.
just doing that. But
Yeah.
you have to, say, okay, I gotta survive.
And that's what it boils down to, that you have to survive.
I have to survive. And that's exactly what it boils down to. I have to survive. And you can't a lot of people, I think, we're just shook. We're shook.
They didn't know what to do. I mean, we never
Yeah,
been through anything like this before.
exactly. And we didn't know what to do. But
No,
I promise you, you get hungry enough, you'll figure it out.
you figure something to do,
You'll
right?
figure something out. Listen, I'll sell chicken dinners. I'll sell sweet potato pies. I'll I'll do whatever I have to do. I don't, I don't care. I tell people all the time, y'all say I'm a diva. No, no, no. No, no, no. I'm a farmer, a fisherwoman, I'm a baker, whatever. If y'all, I'm a diva, okay, all right. But I'm a whole bunch of other stuff too.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
I want to go back. I want to talk a little bit about, you told me a story about how you started your career.
hmm
Can you talk about that for a moment?
Yeah. I never, when I think about where I am and what I've done
Mhm.
in the last 38, almost 39 years that I've been doing it.
Okay.
I tear up thinking about it because I tell people sometimes you find life and sometimes life finds you.
Mhm.
I never intended to be a singer.
Mhm.
I mean, I was perfectly content, raising them greedy behind boys. I was raising them human lawnmowers. They ate everything. And and like I tell people all the time, you know, I did not have an easy time of it. I did not. I came up on the rough side of the mountain. I had somebody say to me, a date said to me, "Oh, I thought you were one of those silver spoon suburban girls." I was like, "How about plastic spoon in the hood, dyed in the wool in the hood?" Okay.
Red cup.
So I mean, I stood online and got welfare, food stamps. I had a hard time. I'm telling you. I did. And I never imagined that singing would be a part of my reality. I felt I faced homelessness. I was homeless with my 3 kids for a while.
Mm, mm.
Singing was never a part of my reality. But anyway, how I got started was a friend of mine, Rahman Rashid, Raymond Welsh. I'll never forget him. And every day I am grateful to him because he plucked something. He found helped me find my purpose or part of my purpose. So I'm outside, it was springtime and and I sang all the time just because, like, sweeping and cleaning and stuff, and I was outside sweeping my front stoop and I'm singing, summertime. I think it was summertime. Summertime and the living is throwing my head back, right? Throwing my head back. And so he worked at the time. He was part of the writing stable at Philadelphia International Records. So he called me Nee. Hey Nee. He walked by. We spoke, exchanged pleasantries, and I'm singing. And he walked by, and I'm still summertime, and the living is easy. Fish
Hey,
are jumping, and the cotton is
yeah.
hard. He got about 20 feet away from me, and he
Yeah.
stopped and he spun around and he said, "Child, you can sing." And I said, "I can." He said, "Yeah, you can. You need to let me audition you for a gig that I have coming up." I'm like, what is he talking about? A gig? But
Oh, talent, talent.
I didn't know. I didn't know. But you know what happened? You know what happened? He said the magic words. You know what they are.
Money.
We'll pay you to sing these. I was like, wait a minute, you gonna pay me to sing? He said, I want you to get 10 songs together that you know that you can sing,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll do this gig, this performance. And so I had, because I have been listening to jazz and Frank Sinatra and Sarah Vaughan and Nina Simone and WHAT when they had jazz on, because I had been listening to this music. The first jazz that I was exposed to at the age of 13 was the first album that I ever listened to was Lee Morgan, The Sidewinder.
Okay.
So I had listened to all these singers and I had learned all the words. Listen to Frank Sinatra Friday and Sunday. I listened to it so much. I I promise you, if Frank Sinatra came on the radio tomorrow, my kids could sing all the words,
Really?
all of them, and have favorites. Like, I think one of them, my oldest, I think I Got You Under My Skin is one of his favorites. And it surprised me how I found out, because one day we was go driving somewhere. You know, my son and I sometimes sing songs in the car, because I do singing songs in my car. And sometimes my oldest son and I will do singing songs in my car or his car. We'll sing together, just goofing off and record it and put it on Facebook or something. But anyway, he surprised me because he was singing Fly Me to the Moon and Let Me Please. I said, wait a minute, hold on. I said, what you know about this? He said, Mom, we've been listening to this music since we were kids. Of course we know it.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, so that was how I started singing, and it was by accident. And the only reason that I jumped on board was because, like, I, I,
You,
all I could see was visions,
you
like they said, visions of sugar plums dancing in your head. I could see visions of boxes of cereal and gallons of milk. I could see all that stuff. I said, more milk, more cereal, more food, more tennis shoes. That's what I saw. And that was it. It wasn't even, it wasn't even like, I'm going to be a star. I'm going to do this. No, it was like I could feed these pretty behind kids. What? Yo, I mean, like, I remember one time I went to the refrigerator. I had just bought like $200 or $300 worth of food.
we know this story, right?
Okay, went to the refrigerator. I had just bought all this food, and I was feeling, like, okay, we're good, we're good. And 2 days later, I went to the refrigerator, and it was gone.
Gone. That's right.
It was gone. And I'm gonna tell you something. I cried. I said, oh my God, I can't believe you ate all the food. How could you do this? They said, well, Mom, what were we supposed to do? You bought it. What? We ain't know you wanted us to save it.
I know how rough that, I have two boys and they would eat everything that I could try to give them and more. And they would
And
cook.
more.
And I didn't have to have, they would go and cook big meals. They
Yes.
didn't mind to cook. They didn't mind that. Eat everything.
And mine, let me tell you something. My kids, because I can cook and I enjoy cooking. I don't cook nearly as much as I used to cook. But these children, to like save money, because I didn't have money. To save money, I'd make a pot. You know how you say I'm gonna make a pot? Like a pot of beans and some cornbread. Those little snobs turn their nose up. We ain't eating that. What you gonna eat? I said, what you mean you ain't eating that? What you gonna eat? We not eating that. I said, well, somebody's gonna be hungry. And they didn't eat it. But
Really?
they were used to me. Like cooking, like for breakfast, I would make banana pancakes, and fried bacon and cheese, eggs and grits and hash browns and, and that's what they were used to. Now,
Yeah.
of course, there were days when they would have cereal and milk, when mom was
Oh,
tired and
yeah. They
I
they
didn't feel
box,
like it.
boxes of that.
They could eat a whole box. One of them could eat a whole box of cereal.
Mhm.
Of them. So you imagine with three, and it just felt like they were growing. It felt like somebody was just like sneaking in the house at night and putting fertilizer in their shoes. They just start growing. Like, and I look around like, wait a minute, yesterday your shoes fit. What happened? What happened? What are you doing? So, but again, singing was just a means to an end. And then, you know, something happened. Something happened where I I realized that maybe this is what God intends for me to do.
Yeah.
Maybe this is my blessing, you know. And then one day, I think I told you I pray and meditate every day.
Mhm. Mhm.
People be like, how do you do that? How you do that? How you do this? I pray and I meditate. I live a very, I ain't gonna front. I ain't no good girl. I say bad words. Yes, I do. I even make up my own bad words, but I will sit and pray and meditate and talk to the Most High every day. And
Yeah.
every move that I have made in my life has been faith based. I
Mhm.
don't go to church. I do not,
Mhm.
because I have a one-on-one relationship with God.
Mhm.
So that it doesn't matter to me. God is God. Do you know what
Mhm.
I mean? Many names. So when I'm in uh Islamic country, I don't have a problem going to the masjid.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know, when I was in Asia, I didn't have a problem going to, their temples, because God to me is God.
Right.
And as long as he knows my voice,
Mhm.
you know,
Use
and
you.
he knows my name,
Mhm.
it doesn't matter. So this one
Faithful.
particular
Yeah.
day, this one particular day, I mean, I would sit, I bought my mom a recliner and I ended up taking it. I ended up commandeering the daggone recliner. And I sat in that recliner one day, and all I said, I asked one simple question of the Lord. I said, what is my purpose?
Mm.
What is my purpose? Why am I here?
Mhm.
And it's like a movie started playing in my head. And basically I was told, you know, and some people, everybody doesn't believe in God, but I've had too many experiences that point to the fact that for me, there is one. I have had too many experiences that have shown me that there is a real and living God. And so I was basically told, I have given you the gift of song, and I
Mhm.
give you this gift to heal hearts and to give people a renewed belief in the human condition. You will make money. You will be able to take care of yourself doing this.
Wow.
But your sole and primary purpose is to spread a message of love.
Mhm.
And I try to do
Well,
every
that is awesome. That's really awesome.
every
And
single day, even when I listen. People are like, how you do this, how this happened, how that, because I go to God and I ask him,
yeah.
should I do this? Should I do that? Just like I was
Mhm.
hard-headed. And he said, don't go to Turkey. And I went anyway.
Mhm.
Got down. I got like Jimmy Snooker. You remember Jimmy Snooker
Oh,
wrestling? I got smacked down. Bam. God smacked me down. Bam. Oh yeah, that's what you're gonna do. Be disobedient. That's what you think. That's how you're gonna do me. Bam. I lost my voice for 6 months.
oh my God.
I ended up with a lesion. I ended up with a lesion on my vocal cords that took 6 months to heal. I couldn't sing for months.
Mm.
And the doctor told me, if you do not do what we tell you to do, you will not be able to sing again.
Oh, God.
So that was, that was something. And then, like when I worked at the hospital, I worked at the hospital for 14 years. I loved working at the hospital. I did.
Hospital.
I worked at University of Penn,
Okay.
Penn Medical,
Mhm.
and I worked there for 14 years. Excuse me.
Wow.
Were you there then?
I
Mm-mm.
did. I worked there for 14 years, and I I love that job because my personal life experience, I could relate to the patients and some of the things that they were dealing with.
Mm.
And I know that there were some patients that, they would hug me and they tell me, you really made a difference, because I would just tell them, like they were my babies, like they were my kids. I would just talk to them and just tell them,
You
listen,
didn't sing to
give
them?
up.
Gilbert said, did you sing to them?
They used to call me the singing nurse. They used to call me the singing nurse because it was just part of me. I would sing all the time, and they said started calling me the singing nurse. But even when I quit that job, because this is how it happened, this is how God works. You will be on a path, and you feel like you're going the right way.
Mhm.
Everything is pointing to you going the right way. Everything, you comfortable, you making money, things are good.
Mhm.
And then God will step in. He'll step
Oh,
in. And
yeah. That's right.
listen, so this one particular night, I had, oops, I'm sorry. Sorry, I got my hand in front of the camera.
Okay.
This one particular night I had this gig, right? I'm a workaholic. I've slowed down. I have slowed down incredibly, but I love to work. I love to work. I do. So
Amazing.
I would work my day gig from 7 to 3. Then I'd leave there and I'd go to student health, and I'd work there from 4 to about 9, 8:30 or 9. And then I might leave there and go do a gig.
Oh my God.
So this one particular night, I was with Lewis Taylor, saxophonist, bad, just amazing.
Mm.
And so we had this gig in Atlantic City. So, all the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. Anyway, so I have this gig. We drive to Atlantic City. The gig started at 10 o'clock, was supposed to be over at 1:32, something like that. So we figured it'd take us an hour to get back from Atlantic City to Philly so I could make it to work in time. Best laid plans of mice and men often go awry.
Mm.
Leave the gig, everything's going just smooth, hunky dory, and then bam, we run into a patch of fog,
Mm.
and
Okay.
we had to pull over,
Mhm.
and we had to sit in the parking lot until about 4 o'clock,
Mm. Mm.
which means I'm leaving Atlantic City at 4 o'clock, 4:30, to get back to Philly by what, 5:30?
Mhm.
Time enough for me to run in, take a shower, put on my uniform, run out in enough time to catch my train to go to the hospital. Well, I got there. I got to the hospital, and I had to interview one of my favorite patients. I absolutely adored this patient. She was a sweetheart. And unbeknownst to some people, she shared a lot of different things with me. And I talked her off the ledge. I remember bumping into a lot of patients, not a lot, but some patients. I bumped into one patient who said, you stopped me from committing suicide.
Wow.
And I said, what? She said, yeah, you talked to me. You talked to me and you listened to me. And so this one particular day, I'm talking to this patient, and I fell asleep. And wait a minute, hold up. I'm not talking about, I felt like cute sleep, like, cute sleep, like cute sleep.
But you were tired. You had hard. You.
I'm talking about drool running down my chin. Oh, I was asleep. And baby girl tapped on my arm. She said, and I jumped. I said, oh my God, was I asleep? She said, you were asleep. And I said, oh my God, I apologized profusely. And she said, you must be really tired. I said, I am tired. In that moment, I'm going to tell you another story about faith too. In that moment, I knew that I had to make a choice. The two worlds had collided.
Yeah. Yeah.
My world as a medical person and my musical world collided.
Mm.
And so I had to make a decision. I didn't want, so it was easy. It was kind of easy because I didn't want to live my life with coulda, woulda, shoulda. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like, I didn't want to get to retirement age and look back and say, I wonder what would have happened
If.
if I had done A, B, and C. I should have done A, B, and C. I could have made the decision to do it. So I just said, I went to God and I said, listen, that's how I talked to him. I talked to him just like I'm talking to you. I said, listen, I gotta make a decision. I want to do this. And I talked to God and I felt in my gut that it was the thing to do. And I stood on the edge of the precipice and I looked out into the abyss and I said, God, either you're going to catch me when I jump or you're going to give me a soft landing when I fall. And I jumped into the unknown and I quit my job.
Okay.
I didn't know what I didn't know what I was going to. I had some gigs lined up, but like I said, you have to be resourceful.
You
I
have to
saw,
have faith.
yeah, I talked to my mom and asked her if I could come back home. And she said, yeah, you can come back. You know, you can come back. You know, and I came back with my kids.
Yeah.
She let me do that, you know.
Well,
And
I want to ask you a couple more questions about your music. Okay.
uh-huh,
So
yeah.
let me ask you a couple more things. Um, we already talked about why you went into entertainment. Okay. And that was your
Mhm,
calling. We all can see that. Okay. But
mhm.
don't you get tired of like we say on the radio of, like you hear this place one day and you're in Europe another day. And what's your favorite city in Europe? Answer that for me. What's your favorite city?
That's really hard to say.
Okay.
That's really hard to say. I love Paris. Absolutely love Paris.
Okay.
But at the same time, there are cities in Italy that I absolutely love.
Okay.
Bari, Roma.
Mm-hmm.
There's cities in Russia. Let me tell you about Russia. We grew up in the era where, you know, Russia was for real, with Nikita Khrushchev and all that business. And
Yes.
there
Yes.
was a lot of propaganda.
Yes.
Let me tell you how I fell in love with Russia. It's beautiful. I expected to see, gray buildings, black, dark, the whole, it was absolutely beautiful. It really was. And St. Petersburg is my favorite
Mm.
because I love the way that the light, I love the way, it's two places that I've been in the world where I love the way the light hits the buildings.
Mhm.
It's a special kind of way that it just hits, it reflects off the buildings. And one was in Valencia in Spain, and the other was in St. Petersburg. It's
Mm.
just the light hits things so that it looks like it's glowing, like it's like soft, like
Okay.
not
Yeah.
touch. Yeah. So um traveling, I'm a workaholic. What are you talking about? So
I
tired.
understand that perfectly. Yeah.
I am. So moving for me, because I'll tell you like this. When I was a little girl, I think I had to be somewhere between 7 and 10. And one of my favorite movies to this day is the movie Sayonara.
Mm.
with Marlon Brando and Red Buttons and and Ricardo. I don't know why they had Ricardo Montalban playing an Asian man, but anyway, that's what happened. And so I told my mom at 7, between 7 and 10 or whatever. I told my mom I'm going to Japan.
Okay.
And of course, my mom looked at me like I was an alien from outer space. Like, whose child? Whose child is this? What child talking about Japan? What she even know about Japan? So I knew when I was very young that I wanted to see the world.
Okay.
Knew. And so for me, touring was just the bonus. Touring was the cherry on top of my career and what I do. Because it's like I get to do what I love and get to do what I love. I love to sing
Mhm.
and I love to travel and I love to tour. So it's like God just he tied it all together for me and said, here you go. And
Well,
so, I remember I took I'll tell you a quick story. Uh I remember um when I was in Russia, I took a train. I had to go to Siberia and I took a 14-hour train ride
Ugh.
from Siberia all the way back to Moscow. It was 14 hours. And I ain't talking about no super, you
Mhm.
know, liner train. I'm talking about somebody was probably shoveling coal in that bad boy as we were going down the tracks. And it was just, but it was thrilling to me because getting to see the Russian countryside and just everywhere I go, sometimes I would write into my contract that I had to tour. I wanted to see the city. I wanted to, have that experience. So I remember when I was in Israel, I told them I wanted to tour. I wanted to see the city because as artists, we visit these places, but we don't really have an opportunity to move around and see them. So I started kind of putting that into my contract that I had to have an extra day so I could see the city. And that's how I got to swim in the Dead Sea,
Mm. Mm.
which was amazing. And I turned into an absolute chicken when I started floating on the water. I was like, this ain't right. This ain't right. There's something wrong with this. Because you just like stay on top of the water.
Oh.
And when I went to the Wailing Wall, when I went to the Wailing Wall, that was an amazing experience, very spiritual for me anyway. I touched the wall and my hands, my girlfriend, she's like my sister. We
Mhm.
were together and we put our prayers in the Wailing Wall. And when I touched the wall, my hands started tingling. My hands started tingling. As I approached the wall, I started like
Mm. Okay.
jerking. And my sister was like, what's going on with you? What's happening with you? And I said, well, something's happening. I don't know. Something's going on. And my hands tingled
Okay.
for about a month after. Um, it was just really a spiritual experience for me. But I don't mind the touring. I don't mind. Now it's a little difficult sometimes moving through those long concourses at the airport and stuff because, well, I mean, I like for people to believe that I'm still 35. I had,
Let me say something to our Facebook fans and friends that's on here. They're watching the show this evening. Um, hello, Rosa. It's good to see you, Rosa. Thanks for your support all the time. Thank you. Thank you, Jessica Lorraine Stanley. That's my cousin. And Jessica says, now Rosa says, good evening, Denise, Doris.
hi.
Okay. And Jessica says, at last, hey guys, so happy to be here and peace with you. Jessica also says, I love that song, Summertime. Gershwin's Porgy and Bess. Jessica
Mhm.
also said, I love Sinatra. Saw him in Philly and Vegas. What a showman. And Matt Green says, hello, Doris, Gill, and hi, Miss King. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. Thank you for joining us. Now, Denise, we talked about a lot of things, and I really enjoyed the interview because uh, we don't hear this from many of the artists that come on. They, you pour your heart out. You said, talked about the pros and cons. It was a very good interview. Now, what are your goals now? What are your short-term goals now? Now, wait,
Short,
let me interrupt. Talk about what you're doing on, is it Vine Street?
yeah, Mother's Day. Yeah, Mother's Day. Well, again, as I said, I pray and meditate every day.
Okay.
And I was praying and meditating and thinking about how this pandemic has impacted so many people.
Mhm.
But what really hurt my heart, what really touched me, was the fact that um, people had lost loved ones
Mhm.
and not able to properly funeralize them or celebrate their lives or even see them. I was fortunate. Um, my mom had COVID. She was 93,
Oh.
but she beat it. And I'm not trying to be funny, but we knew she would beat it. We were like, probably. Uh, what? COVID, mom, COVID, what? She gonna be fine. COVID, I'm coming, you know. And but she beat it, and we were fortunate in that there was a small window where they were allowing people to see their loved ones, a
Mhm.
very small window. And she got sick during that window. After she beat COVID, like a few months later, we found out that she had stage 3 or 4 cancer.
Oh God.
Yeah. And so we were able first we were seeing her FaceTime, and then I had to have her, she was put in the hospital because she had an abscess and they had to drain that. And then they said, well, she's 93. We can't do surgery. She won't survive radiation or chemo. And so we had to make a decision and moved her to hospice where we were able to see her. But I started thinking about people who did not have that opportunity. And it broke my heart that people had to have virtual funerals. They could not, they could not send their loved ones off with the proper funeral. So I said, what can I do? How can I make a difference? Like, there's got to be something that as a collective we can do to
Mhm.
celebrate the lives of those who were lost. So I came up with the idea for this concert series, and Mother's Day, we're supposed to do a concert to honor moms, but also a tribute to mothers who lost their lives to COVID-19. I'm sorry, I'm getting ready to cry.
Yes, 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 yes. Mm.
So I came up with the idea, and I said, okay, we'll do a concert. The first set will be a jazz set with my band, but between the first and the second set, I'm going to have a balloon release where people can release their balloons in honor of their loved ones. Verlyn Dove, who's a poet, I asked her to write a special poem
Okay.
for in honor of mothers. I asked a couple of other people to read poems. And the second half is more of a memorial and gospel celebration.
Mm.
Remember, for people to be for Mother's Day. Well, rain date is Mother's Day is the actual date. If it rains and they're predicting rain, the rain date is May 15th, the following Saturday. But I said, I'm gonna do this for the mothers. I'm gonna do the same for the fathers.
Mm.
Then the third concert is going to be a party with the purpose where I'm saying thank you to all the essential workers, because I'm here to tell you, Amazon was at my door every day. They was at my door every day.
They worked hard. They
They
worked hard.
taught, listen, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I get angry about, all this hoo-ha about the minimum wage. Pay these people that money. Give them that. They deserve it. They earned it. These people kept us going. The essential workers, doctors, nurses, anybody who works at the hospital, anybody who works at the superstore, the supermarket, anybody who works at fast food, anybody who is essential, they kept us going.
Yeah.
And I am grateful. I am eternally grateful. And I just want to say, some way, say thank you. I'm looking for sponsorship. I'm looking for in-kind donations so that we can have a proper party for these people who got us through this pandemic. Put
Yes.
themselves at risk, putting
That's
themselves at
great.
risk.
And
Then
that and that's on, say the address again. So
the address for Sunday, if it doesn't rain, it's it's the shopping center at Progress Haddington Plaza, 5601 Vine Street in West Philly.
601.
6 to 8.
Mm-hmm.
Bring your balloons. Bring balloons. Anybody who want to remember, bring balloons so we can release them. And then I asked God, what is my purpose? And I really think that community work. What I really want to do is I'm starting a nonprofit um, called the Light and Love uh, Community Arts Project, where I'm not going to just bring jazz, but I want to bring the arts, opera,
Mm.
theater, every aspect of the arts to the community. That's what I want to do.
Okay.
I think that's what I'm supposed
That's
to do.
great. That's
Yeah,
great. That's
I
great.
think that's what I'm supposed to do. But that's kind of a long-term goal. The nonprofit, and definitely have a musical component where kids or adults can learn how to
Yes.
play instruments.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I had a literacy program when I did a jazz series out at 50th in Baltimore for 8 years. And it was amazing. I mean, we were out there partying. I listen, people was too laid back. I was like, what y'all got in them coolers? y'all a little too chill. I'ma come around and do a cool check. But we danced. Oh my God, we danced. We bop, we slop, we jitterbug. We did all the old school dances. All the senior citizens had a place to congregate to enjoy the music that they grew up with. And then from that, I had a literacy program that I called Bebop and Books. And that was because the kids was out there running amok. Now,
Mhm.
had it been me, I'd have picked me a switch, but they weren't my kids. they weren't my kids. So I called all the kids together and I said, listen, what do you like to do? Because they were disturbing their parents who were trying to enjoy the music. They just had 2 hours to
I know. I know. I know.
unwind, and the kids were running amok. And hey, we can stop, get down, come and get. So I called all the kids over to me and I asked them. I said, "What do you like to do? What do you like to do?" And of course, play, yeah, play. I was like, okay. After you play, what do you like to do? And unanimously, and I was shocked, they all said read.
We.
Yes, they
Ah,
all said read. So that's how Bebop and Book started. When they said read, I went to the adult audience members and said, I need y'all to donate gently used books or new children's books for
mhm,
these kids. And I put them in one of those big Rubbermaid bins.
mhm.
Would come, they would take the books, they were allowed to take the books and keep them. They could take the books and bring them back, trade them in. But what I learned, what I learned was a couple of adults kind of shyly and sheepishly came up to me and said, may I have some books?
Mm.
And I said, sure, you can have some books. And they told me, they said, I'm learning to read and these books are helping me.
God bless you. God-
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's just, I just try to do, I'm just in my life, I'm trying to do what God has purposed me to do, what he tells me to do. Because
Yes.
I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't want to get beat up again.
Hmm.
I want to get beat
I
up.
understand. I understand. I understand it perfectly.
When God beats you up, it's a beating that you
You
never forget.
deep.
For
You-
those people who don't believe in God, that's fine. You believe in something. But when you get beat up by God, he'll make you remember. He will he will make you say, I ain't never doing that again. Ah.
Oh, let me go back here a minute. Rosa Richardson says, thank you, Denise, for this amazing down-to-earth interview and sharing all your wonderful stories. So
Oh,
enjoyed.
you're
And then
welcome.
Rosa said again, congratulations on your project, Denise. Much success and best wishes. And that's
Thank
again at 5601. Is it Mark
Vine,
Vine
Vine Street at Haddington Plaza, right in West Philly. And listen,
5601?
as I said, I'm listening. I don't know if this is allowed, but I'm looking for sponsors and donors. I
Yes.
have a GoFundMe on my Facebook page. If
Okay.
people want to make a contribution, because all of this, we don't have any corporate sponsorship right now. We don't have any corporate sponsors yet. I am working on that even as we speak. So donations from the public help me to, and that's the other tier to this piece. So many musicians out of work. I said, let me help get these guys back to work, especially the ones who weren't eligible for PUA. Let me just do something to get them back to work, even if it's for psychological reasons.
So they all going to come together to play. You got some of those musicians coming to help to play,
Yeah,
right?
I have,
Yeah.
Mother's Day, I have my band,
Mhm.
Aaron Graves, Lee Smith, Kyrie Shaheed, and the legendary Sam Reed of Uptown Theater fame,
Yes.
and Josh Lee.
Yes.
Josh Lee is going to come and sit in. But the whole thing is, you know, I know how I felt. I know I was suffering, but I was blessed. I
Mhm.
was blessed because I didn't suffer as much as some people were suffering. But I wanted to, even from a psychological point of view, when you have done something all of your life and it's your love, it's
Mhm.
like it's like the stuff that it's like blood flowing through your body, and and suddenly you can't do it anymore mentally. That does something to you
Yes.
psychologically. When you can't play your instrument,
Mhm.
you've trained, you've studied, you've gone to college, you've gone to music school, and all of a sudden you cannot, there's no outlet for you to do what you do. Well, of course you're going to fall, you may fall into some kind of depression. I've talked to some musicians who were talking suicide. Oh, whoa, 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 we ain't going there. Mm-mm. So my whole thing is, what can I do to make a difference? And that was the whole thing. When I was sitting in the park meditating and praying, and God said, do this. And I said, hold up, wait a minute. I don't have how to do this. You tell me do, I don't have no money. I don't have no money. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What? They don't, I'm not like Jack and the Beanstalk. I can't get some beans. How am I gonna do this? And in my spirit, I heard the money will come.
Money will come. The money always comes.
You have to believe that, that's the
Money
hope.
always come. And I believe that. I
Absolutely.
wholeheartedly believe the money
Let me
will
tell you something else. I lost my ink pens. I collect ink pens. I love ink pens. And I lost my ink pens and I was flipping out. I was crying. I was just crying over these ink pens. And they had significant, when I'm not a materialistic person, like I wear a pair of shoes. I will glue the sole back on the bottom of a pair of my favorite shoes. I would get a hot glue gun and go to town. But these ink pens, I collect things that have sentimental value. Like somebody will give me something. Somebody gave me something and I wore it on stage every single time I went on stage because it has that kind of significance to me. It makes me feel close to the person that gave it to me. These ink pens, the one ink pen I got it was for my birthday. And I was walking through an airport in France. And it was my birthday and it was a beautiful ink pen. And I wanted it and I bought it. And then there were two other ink pens that I used to write in my journal, my manifestation and my poetry journal. And they were gone. And I was flipping out. And I heard in my spirit. Now I don't talk like this. It's just like this how you know it's God, because you know how I'm talking now. God will say, thou shalt, you know, thou shalt, or whatever, cling not. And that's what he said. That's what I heard in my spirit. Cling not to material things. You're like, why are you crying over these ink pens? I'll send you some more pens, knock it off.
Well,
Cling not to material things.
Denise,
Hey,
you gave us a great interview, and I want to thank you for that. So down to earth, so many true things you said,
thank you.
and a lot of spiritual things that you took us through tonight to make us just stop and think about, like what you just said, material things. So I want to thank you. Gilbert has given me the thumbs up, which means it's time for us to go. But
Thank you.
I want to invite you back, and I want to get some of your songs so I can play on Philly Live Radio. Would you send them to us?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And we're going to try our best to be there Sunday, and if not this Sunday because of the rain, it's the 15th. Is that true?
May 15th, that's a Saturday. Yeah. And I
Okay.
just want to say, I'll be seeing you all the old familiar places.
Yeah.
I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you. I'll be seeing you.
And Patrice Hawthorne says Denise is always dropping gems. Great interview.
I love her.
Yes.
I love her.
Well,
She is a golden. She's golden.
okay. Thank you very much here. Okay.
Bye, y'all. Thank you. See you Sunday or the
See you Sunday.
15th.
Okay.
Ciao, ciao. Ciao.
Bye bye.
You have that one?
That's what you gave me.
Just end it. Just end it.
In the meeting.